राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजता दधोक्षजे आविश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 76, verse number 1. So in the previous chapter we studied the Avbhrit Snan, the bathing ceremony of Yudhishthira Maharaj after he has completed the yajna and the big festival of throwing color at each other. And then Duryodhana, seeing the opulence of Krishna and becoming very jealous, and then falling down into water. And this led to big anger for him because everybody was laughing at him. So then he left and went back to Indraprastha, Hastinapur from Indraprastha. And that's when he plotted for the gambling match. So that's a story described in much detail in Mahabharata. Sandeep, तुम्हारा क्या भाई?
Pranam Bhavani. So I have one question from yesterday's class. On Shloka 30th, last chapter. So you explained that Yudhishthira Maharaj had a burning ambition kind of a thing for doing Raj Surya. So as a devotee, why would he have? Okay, desire is one thing. As a Kshatriya, you want to do Raj Surya and be the emperor of the world. But then why this adjective of evil, Ichcha, burning desire kind of? As a devotee, it doesn't really suit, no?
I think you did not hear. I did not say that he has burning desire. I said he had anxiety because so many people came and he has to take care of them, and he wanted to make sure that nobody is upset, everybody is received nicely, their facilities are good. That's what his anxiety was, not that he had anxiety that I have to do Rajasuya.
Okay, so that was not his kind of ambition.
No.
Oh, I interpreted wrongly.
No problem. So Sri Shuka Uvacha Athanyadapi Krishnasya Shृणु Karmadbhutam Nripa Kridanara Sharirasya Yatha Saughapatirhatah. So Sukadeva Goswami continues to speak. He was answering to Parikshit Maharaj's question that why Duryodhana felt jealous when everybody was celebrating this big yajna. So then he explained that in the previous chapter. And now he says that here more wonderful activities of Sri Krishna when he is performing his Leela in human form. Krida Nara Sarirasya Yatha Saubhapatirhata. How he killed Shalva. So Shalva was a friend of Shishupal, and he also was killed by Krishna because he came to attack Dwarka, and he had a big plane which was called Saubha. That's why he's called here as Shobhapati, that owner of the Shobha. Like these days you have fighter jets, but fighter jets are very small compared to what he had. He also had a fighter jet, but it was huge. It was almost like a city traveling in the sky. And it could do all the tricks of the fighter jet, up, down, more than a fighter jet. It could become many. It could go inside the water. It should stand still. It could twist, and it could go very fast that you don't know where it is. So all these things it could do, but it was huge in size in comparison to what you see the jets now. And it was made of iron. It was not some other material. So that is the story which is being described here. Sri Vishnath Chakravarti says, Shat Saptati Tamesh Shalve Rudra Prapte Rane Varam Kurvati Dyumatah Shastadi Ayuktam Pradyum Niskrama. So in this 76th chapter there is a description how Shalva, he got a boon from Shiva to fight this as a plane. And then it describes the fight, and the last part describes how Pradyumna was wounded by Dyuman, who was army chief of Shalva, and then he was taken out of the battlefield. So that is the subject matter of this chapter. Shishupala Sakha Salvo Rukmani Udvahab Agataha Yadurbhir Nirjita Sankhe Jarasandhadayas Tatha. So Shalva was a friend of Shishupal, and he also came to attend the marriage of Rukmani, that Swamvar, where Krishna had come and kidnapped Rukmani. And at that time he was also present, Jarasandha was also there. But when Krishna kidnapped Rukmani, then they all fought with him and they all got defeated. It was not only Rukmi. Rukmi came running behind, but before that all these kings also attacked him. But they could not do anything to him. That was the greatness Krishna. So they actually knew that he is great, although Shishupal was speaking a lot of nonsense. And that also much detail in Mahabharata. He was saying all kinds of things, that what kind of hero he is, what he did. He killed one snake, one calf, one bird, one woman, because Putna, Bakasura, one horse, Keshi. So he says this is what he has been killing. So he's not a hero. He's not fought any big fight anywhere. And they say that he lifted Govardhan hill. It was nothing but the eaten up hill by the termites. So that's how he was speaking. So now Shishupal is killed and he was his friend. First Shishupal was supposed to be married to Rukmani and he did not get the wife. Now he got killed. So Shalva is very pissed off because of that. So he wants to take revenge. So Krida Pradhanascha Sau Nar Sharirascha iti Shak Parthiva. So he says Krida Nar Sharira in the previous sloka. This is Samasa, which has Madhyam Padalopi Samasa. So Krida Pradhan Nar Sharira means this human form of Krishna, which is predominantly for his pastimes. Shalva pratigyam akarot shrinvatam sarvbhuvujam ayadvim kshamam karishay parusham mam pashyate. So when they had got defeated in Kundinpura, then Shalva, he made a pronunciation. He took a vow that I'll make this earth free from the Yadavas. Means I'll kill all the Yadavas. So Ayadavim Kshamam Karishye, and then you will see my valor, Parusham Mam Pashyata. And he says, listen to me, the kings. So here is the Shashti Bhakti, when it should be Saptami. Srinvatam sarvbhuvajam should be Srinvatsu sarvbhuvajeshu or bhubhukshu. So he spoke, but not caring for others in that sense. Iti mudha pratigyaya devam pashupatim prabhum Aradhyamasa nripa pansu mushtim sakrit grasan. So that fool, he took this vow, and then he started worshipping Pashupati. So Pashupati means Lord of animals, which means he is also an animal, because he is worshipping him. That's why he is called Mudha here. And that shows that how Mudha, how foolish he was, that every day he was eating one handful of dust, that's all. So like you say, that I made him eat the dust. So he was already eating the dust, even before the fight. So Pamsu Mushtim Sakrid, only once a day, so he performed very severe tapasya, eating. I don't know how his stomach took it. Pamsu. Every day just eating dust. What is the vitamin coming from that? Calcium. Samvatsarante Bhagwan Ashutosha Umapatihi Varena Chandayamasa Salvam Sharanam Magatam. So when he continued performing this tapasya for 1 year, then Shiva, who is called Ashutosh, who gets pleased very quickly, so 1 year is quick. We eat dust for 1 year, that is considered as quick. People think that Krishna should appear in front of us, who is not Ashutosh. Who is Durlabha? So after 1 year he appeared, he was pleased and he appeared to him. And Shalva has taken his shelter. So he asked him that I am pleased with you, you can take a boon from me. So Varene Ditsite Chandayamasa Vashi Chakre. So one he was desiring to take the boon, he accepted him. Abhipraya Vasau Chando iti amara. So this is what Shalva asked. Deva Sur Manushyanam Gandharva Uragarakshasham Abhedyam Kamagam Vavre Sayanam Vrishni Bhishanam. So he said that you please give me one vehicle, aerospace, which can move in the space, which cannot be destroyed by anybody, whether they are devas, asuras, human beings, gandharvas, snakes, rakshasas, and it can move at its own will, kamagam. Wherever it wants to move, it can go. And no missile can destroy it. So you can release any amount of missiles on it. Nothing will happen to it. So this will be something which army people should make now, because they are always doing research. So previously they had something like that. And Vrishni Bhishanam, this will be the cause of fear for the Vrishnis, because he is going to attack them with this. And they will not know what to do. Tatheti Grisha Adishto Maya Pura Parapuranjaya Puram Nirmaya Shalvaya Pradat Shobham Mayasmayam. So when he said like this, then Girisha, that Shiva, he said, okay, let it be so. Tatha iti, tatha astu, evam astu. So then he asked Maya Danava to make a big plane, Puranjaya, which can conquer the enemies. So it was like a city which conquer other cities. It was made of iron, Ayasmaya, and it was called Saubha, and gave it to Shalva. So that's why it says Puram Nirmaya Shalva. It was like a city. Means it had all arrangements. You can sleep, you can eat, you can play, you can do all kinds of things. And just like they have big ship in the ocean, it was the airship, something like the ships. A plane can take off from these ships. So he had like that in the sky. On what it moves, it's not mentioned, what kind of fuel it was running on. Maybe on water. Yeah. Because that is the easiest thing to get. Or just on air. So salabdhva kamagam yanam tamodham durasadam yayau dvaravatim shalvo vairam vrishni kritam smaran. So once he got that plane, airship, which could move at its own will, and it was tamodham, it was black, means it was not very shiny, invisible, and durasadam, could not be destroyed or conquered over. So then he went to Dwarka. Shalva Dvaravatim Yayau. Vrishnikritam Vairam Smar, while remembering the enmity with the Yadavas or Vrishnis. So he wanted to take revenge. So this is the human life. A lot of human life goes only in taking revenge from others. This Ahankara is one of the big lila of Ahankara. Pastime is to take revenge. So that's what people are doing, families are doing, countries are doing, even religions are doing, taking just revenge from another religion. So he also did that. Niruddhya Seniya Shalvo Mahatya Bharatarshabha Purim Babhanjo Bhavanani Udyanani Cha Sarvasha. So he went with a big army because this airship could carry a lot of soldiers in it. And they could fight from this plane. How is that the air pressure was maintained? We don't know. Because you go up, there is a problem of air pressure. And so obviously they are shooting from there, so that it's open. So this is not described, what arrangement they had. So Niruddha Seniya Shalvo Mahatya Bharatarshava. So he surrounded the city with a big army and then went and started destroying it. Because it is not that he was only going to fight with the army, but he will kill anybody, destroy the civilians also. So he demolished all the gardens, fruit gardens, flower gardens, forests in the city. That's what he was doing. Sagopurani Dwarani Prasadattalatolika Viharansa Vimanagre Nipetu Shastra Vrishtaya. So Viman Agriyat Nipetu Shastra Vrishtaya. From the front part of this Vimana, from this airship, they are showering various weapons and destroying the houses, the towers, the gateways, the mansions, the boundary walls, the recreational places, everything. They're just demolishing, that's all, whatever they saw. Tolika Bhitti. Tolika means the wall. Viharan Kridasthanani. Vihar means the place of playing, like pleasure gardens. Sa Shalva. Sa means Shalva. Tatasya Viman Shreshtat Saubhat. So this from this Viman, the shooting arrows. Shila Druma Shan Ashnayah Sarpa Ashara Sharkaraha Prachandas Chakravato Bhud Rasa Achadita Disha. They are also throwing stones, trees, thunderbolts, snakes, and hailstorm. So it's not just normal weapons, they also had divine weapons. So there's heavy hailstorm is coming. So everything getting smashed down. Trees, crops, people, animals, birds. So brought havoc there. And then there was a heavy whirlwind, Chakravata, and everything was covered in dust. Rasa Chadita Disha. Ityardemana Saubhena Krishnasya Nagari Bhrisham Nabhyapadyat Samrajan Tripurena Yathamahi. So in this way, when the city was being trampled by the army or the weapons of Shalva thrown from the Saubha airship, So the city of Krishna was not able to be in peace at all. So Nabhyapadyat Samrajan. So he says it was just like there was also Tripurasura before. He had 3 cities, gold, silver and iron. He was the one who was killed by Shiva. That's why he's called Tripurari. So he also had something like this. And he was troubling everybody. So Air Force is a big power from the olden time. Pradyumno Bhagavan Vikshya Badhyamana Nijaha Prajaha Ma Bhashtaitya Abhyadhat Viro Ratha Rudo Mahayasha. So when Bhagavan Pradyumna, son of Sri Krishna, saw how his people were being troubled by the Shalva, he told them, do not fear. And that great hero, he rode on a chariot and came to fight. So he decided that now we have to do something. Pradyumno Bhagavan Vikshayati Yuddhartham Balbhadre Nirjagamishyati Sati Vayam eva Shalvam Vadhishyama Stvayatu Sukhena Traiva Sthayamiti Uktva Sambadi Visaya Pradyumna eva Nirjagamit. So actually Balaram desired to come out and fight, but then Pradyumna, when he saw this, he told that, no uncle, you stay back. You take it easy and we will go and fight. We will kill him. And in this way, Pradyumna came out along with Samba and other brothers to fight. Satyakescharu Deshnascha Samba Krura Sahanujaha Hardikyo Bhanu Vindascha Gadascha Shukasharanu Anyecha Maheshvasa Rathayuthapayuthapa Niryayu Darshita Gupta Rathe Bhashvapadati Bhi. So Satyaki, Charudeshna, Samba, Krura, along with his younger brothers Kritvarma, Bhanu, Vinda, Gada, Shuka, Sarana, and many other great warriors with big bows. Maheshvasa means who had big bows. So Rath-Yuthapa, they all had their yuthas, their army. So they rode on the chariot and they were protected by the 4 types of army of the chariots, elephants, horses and infantry. So Ratha Iba Shvapadati Gupta Niryayu Damshita. So Damshita means they had put their armor on their chest. That is called also Damsha. And they went out to fight. Tatah pravavrite yuddham shalvanam yadubhi saha yathasuranam vibhudai tumulam lo maharshanam. And then began a big fight between the army of Shalva and the Yadavas. This fight was just like the battle which happened earlier between the Devas and Asuras. Asuranam vibhudai tumulam. Very ferocious battle that just seeing this your hair stand on the end. Tascha Shobhapater Maya Divyastrai Rukmani Sutaha Kshanena Nashayamasa Nesham Tamai Voshnago. So when that happened, then Pradyumna first he destroyed the Maya which has been created by Shalva. Because remember, Shalva is sending hailstorms and snakes are coming down and all that. So he used his divine weapons to destroy all this illusory fighting. And in a moment everything got cleared. Just like when the sun comes out in the summer all the darkness is dispelled and everything becomes bright. So Rukmantya Sri Maheshi Varg Shreshthaya Sutha Jyesht Putra iti Mahatmya Bhara Suchita. So he is called here as Rukmani Sutta, the son of Rukmani. So that to show that Rukmani is the chief queen and he is the senior most son. So he is taking the responsibility. And then what he did is amazing. It says Vivyadha Panchavinstya Swarnapunkhairayo Mukhaihi Shvalvashe Dhajuni Palam Sharai Sannata Parvabhi. So he shot 25 arrows at this Duman, who is the army chief of Shalva. And these arrows, they were Swarnapunkhair Ayomukhai. That the front part was iron, and the side golden, and the knots were hidden or not coming out. So with 25 arrows, he hurt him, attacked him. And then Shatena Tadiyat Shalvam, and he shot 100 arrows at Shalva. And Ekeke Nasya Senikan, and one arrow at all the soldiers. Every soldier got one. And Dasbin Netrin, and 10 to all the chariot drivers. And Vahanani 3 and 3 each at each carrier, whatever they were riding on. So that's how he did simultaneously, quickly, so many arrows. Tadadbhutam mahat karmam pradyumanasya mahatmana drishtvatam pujayamasu sarve swaparasainikah. So when that great Pradyumna performed this wonderful, amazing act of fighting, seeing that all the people there, they honored him, not only from his side but even the enemies from the opposite side. They said, wow, what a great fighter he is. So appreciation even from the enemies. Now he manifests more Maya, the Shaubha. Bahurupayek rupam tad drishyate na cha drishyate mayamayam mayakritam durvibhavyam parairabhut. So now this airship, so sometimes it became visible and sometimes invisible because it was Maya. It was a product of Maya, by Maya, demon, and it was very difficult to trace it where it is, durvibhavyam, parairabhut. So if you have to attack it, at least you have to know where it is. So it was so amazing that it was difficult even to figure out where is it. Kvachit bhumau, kvachit vyomni, gri murdni jalai kvachit alat chakravad brahmyat svabham tad duravasthitam. Sometimes it will come on the land, sometimes it will stay in the space, sometimes it was seen on top of a mountain, sometimes inside the water, sometimes it was rotating like a firebrand. So I don't know where is it. Everywhere it looked there is a plane. So therefore it was duravasthitam. It was very difficult to pinpoint exactly where is it. Yatra yatra uplaksheta sasabha sahasanika salves tatastato munchan sharan satvati uthapa. So now wherever this airship appeared and wherever Salya appeared along with his plane and with his armies, so there only all the Satvata heroes, the Yadavas, they will shoot their arrows because they are on the ground and they are up in the... So wherever they see him, they all shoot at him. Sarairagnyarka sansparshair asi vishadurasadai pidyamana puranika shalvo mahiyat parairitai. So the arrows of the Yadavas were very strong, just like fire or sun touching them. Sarair Agni Arka Sansparshai. And it was difficult to tolerate or counter them like the poison of a snake. Asi Vishadurasadai. And the airship as well as the army of Shalva was being completely attacked by this, so much that Shalva became totally bewildered, didn't know what to do with this. Shalva nikapa shastroghail Vishni vira bhrishardita tatyajunairanam swaswam lokadvaya jagishava. But the army of Shalva was also not less, so they were also attacking back, and the heroes of Vrishni dynasty, they were very much tormented by them. But they did not run away from the battlefield because they wanted to conquer both the worlds, this and the next. So they become victorious here and they will be praised. So commentary is there a little bit. Agni arkyor iva sparsho yesham tai. So the arrows of the Vrishnis were just like fire, the touch of fire and sun. Ashi Visha is sarpair. Ashi Visha is called snake. Durasadai dussahi. Durasad means unable to tolerate. Pidyamanam puram anikanicha yasyasa. So his city, that means his airship, as well as the army, they were all attacked by the Satvatas or Yadus. Parair Yadubhir Iritair Muktai. So these arrows which were released by the Yadavas, they troubled him very much. He almost fainted. Now comes his army chief. Shalva Matyodhyuman Nam Pradyumnam Praka Prapiditaha Asadya Gadya Morvya Vyahatya Venadad Bali. So earlier, the chief of Shalva's army, whose name was Dyuman, he was hit by Pradyumna. Remember, he sent 25 arrows to him. So he got 25 arrows from Pradyumna. So now he took a huge club made of iron and hit Pradyumna on his chest. And then he roared loudly that I killed you. That's what he did. So tam Pradyumnam Shrīna Vaksha Sthalamiti Prakritya Dyumato Gadya. That's the next one. Pradyumnam Gadya Shrīna Vaksha Sthalamarindamam Apovaharanat Suto Dharm Viddarukatmajaha. So when he did that, this wounded the chest of Pradyumna. Shrīna Vaksha means his chest was wounded by that. Vaksha Sthalam Arindamam. So when the Suta, the driver of Pradyumna, saw that Pradyumna has been hit on the chest and he is bleeding, so he took away the chariot out of the battlefield because he is Dharmvit Darukatmaja. The driver of Pradyumna is son of Daruka. Daruka is Krishna's driver, and Daruka's son is the driver of Krishna's son. So you see, this is how the job will be in the family in the olden time. father is working, and son also works, and his grandson, he will be the driver of Aniruddha. So no problem of employment and writing CV, applying for jobs. It's already fixed. So tam pradyumnam, so Vishwanath Chakravarti writes little bit comment on this. So he says pradyumnam Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, that tam refers to Pradyumna, whose vaksha, his chest was wounded. Prakritya dyumato gadya chidanandamaya vakshastasya srirnatva sambhave api. He says that the club of Dyuman is made of iron, which is material, and Pradyumna is Satchidananda Vigraha. His body is transcendental, so therefore his chest is also transcendental. So it is not possible that the material club can wound the transcendental chest. But still, Lila Shaktya eva tam yuddha utsaharas vardhanartham eva agamatre. But by the Lila Shakti, by the pleasure potency or potency which arranges for pastime, this happened so that this Amatya, this minister or chief of his army, will feel enthusiastic that I did some great thing. Otherwise, if they go on getting defeated, then they will lose enthusiasm. So therefore, Yuddha Utsaha Rasvardhanartham, just to increase the rasa of the fighting. So tam gadaya eva Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam matva apovaha anyatra ninaya. So the driver, the Suta, when he saw that this club has wounded the chest, so he took out the chariot from there. Yato dharmavit. Why? Because he knows the dharma, he knows what is the duty of a chariot driver. Suta krichragatam rakshayati iti dharmagya. He knows that if the fighter is in trouble, then he should protect him. Vastutastu akara plashleshena Satchidananda vigrahatu lakshanam tasya dharmam naveti iti adharmavit. But now he says that the reading can be that he does not know the dharma. Because apavaha ranath suto dharmavit daruk atmaja. So he can also read it apavaha ranath suto adharmavit. So he says in reality it is adharmavit, means he did not understand that he is not really hurt like that. So therefore he says vastutastu akara prashleshena Satchidananda vigrahatu lakshanam tasya dharmam naveti. That in reality he did not understand the nature, the characteristic of Pradyumna, that he is transcendental, and therefore he cannot be hurt by anything like that. So instead of dharmavit, he says that you read it as adharmavit. Taccha tadagyanam tam param susangatam eva yato darukatman. And then he says that this ignorance is not the ignorance like normal people. This ignorance is also appropriate for him because he is son of Daruka, which means because of love. It's like Yashoda does not think that Krishna is God. If he trips as a small boy and falls down, then she will run and lift him up. Did you get hurt? So that is not this kind of ignorance. This is ignorance by Yogamaya, not ignorance of Mahamaya. So therefore it says that Parikshiti bhaved rago darukecha tathodhavi. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu it is said that Krishna has love for Parikshit, for Daruka and for Uddhava. Iti Bhakti Rasamrita uktair mahapremvato darukasya atmaja pradyumna vishyak mahasnevan iti bhava. But actually he had great love for Pradyumna, and that's why he took him out. Not that he was ignorant that he is God. He was ignorant out of love for him. So because of the prema, he did not think that he cannot be hurt like that. Labdha sangyo muhurtene karshni sarthim abravit. Aho sadhuidam suta yadranan me sarpanam. But after one muhurta, after 48 minutes by watch, when Pradyumna came to his senses, external senses, then he spoke to the driver as follows. He says, Alas, O driver, you have acted in a very abominable manner, that you have taken me away from the battlefield. Because for Kshatriyas this is like a disgrace, that how come this guy ran away from the battlefield. So he says, you should not have done that. So tatascha labdhva samyak jnanena yuddhasthalad aham apasarita iti jnanam yenasa. So after that, when he came to his consciousness and realized that he has been taken away from the battlefield, kritavdhana, he became alert. Yadva labdha sangya artha suchana apsaran vyaparena samurcha gyapna sutkrita yenasya. Or the meaning is that later on, it is Suta who informed him that you have become unconscious and therefore I have to take you out. So that is what it means. Ateva tam prati kupitaha sanabravit. So he became angry at him and spoke in the following manner. Aho, sangyasat chetana nama hastadde swartha suchna iti amara. So sangya means chetana, consciousness here. It can also means to inform somebody by symbol, or it means name. And Muhurta, although generally Muhurta means 48 minutes, but it says Muhurta means Kshana, that very quickly he came back to consciousness. So Nayadunam, now he is speaking, Pradyumna. Nayadunam kule jata shruyate ranvichutaha vinamat kliba chittena sutena prapta kilvishat. So he said that in our whole Yadu dynasty, we have never heard that somebody ran away from the battlefield, except now for me, who has become like an important person because of you, the Suta. He says, I have attained now this stigma on my name, that O Pradyumna ran away. So you have put a big black mark on my name by taking me out of battlefield. So Sutena tvaya hetuna praptam kil visham kalanka yena tasmat. He says, because of you, I've got this kalanka, this dark spot on my character. Kimnu vakshe visangamya pitarau ramakeshavau yuddhat asamyagapakrantam prishtas tatratmana kshamam. He says, when my father Krishna and my uncle Balram will ask me what happened, what will I reply to them? How will I show my face to them that I ran away? And in this way I brought disgrace to them, that I came out from the battlefield. He said, this is not a suitable behavior to my reputation. So kshamam means yogyam. It's not appropriate to me. Vyaktam me kathishyanti hasantyo bhratrijamayah klabhyam katham vira tavanyai katyatam mridhe. And my sister-in-laws, so we discussed earlier that the relationship between sister-in-law and brother-in-law is more like jovial. So he says that my sister-in-laws, they will make fun of me. They will cut jokes at me. So you ran away from the battlefield, you important fellow, what happened? What happened? How is that? Enemy has turned you such an important person, made like a eunuch out of you. So Bhratri Jamayo, Bhratri Bharya. Bhratri Jamaya means the wives of my brothers. He Veera Anye Sahamridhe Tav Klabhyam Katham Abhut. O hero, how is that in the battlefield while fighting with others you became impotent. Vishmaye Dutyam. So repetition, katham katham, is to indicate surprise. Sarthir Uvacha. So now the son of Daruka has to reply. He has to defend himself. What happened? Dharmam vijanata ayusman kritam etan maya vibho sutah krichragatam rakshed rathinam sarathim rathi. So he says that, oh my master, what I have done is only according to my duty, knowing very well what is the appropriate action in such a situation. Because it is said that when the fighter or the charioteer is in trouble, then the driver should protect him. And when the driver is in trouble, then the charioteer should protect him. So therefore there is nothing wrong that I have done. Your life was in danger, so I have to bring you out. Etad viditva tu bhavan mayopavahito ranat upsrishtah puraneti murchito gadyahata. So knowing this very well as my duty, I took you away from the battlefield because you fell unconscious being hit by the club of enemy, or you were in a very vulnerable position. Because if I don't take you out, then he can, kill you. So that's what I did. Apovahita, apanita. Apovahita means taken away. Upsrishta, pridita. Upsrishta means that you were being troubled, put in a difficult situation. Yato gadaya hato bhavans tadanim murchito abhut. Why is that what actually happened? That you have been hit by a club on your chest and then you lost consciousness. Iti gyatva eva maya apovahita. Knowing this only, I took you away. Tatasya dhing mudha mam naiva tvam agyasasiriti pratyuktir gaya. So Vishwanath Chakravarti comments that although it is not there, but it is as if he replied back, Pradyumna, that you are a damn fool, you don't recognize me who I am, and you think that this fellow can kill me. So this reply should be understood, although it is not stated there, but it's known. Iti sarartha darshinyam harshinyam bhakta chetasam shat saptatamo adhyayo dasmaya jani sangata. So this is the end of Sararthani Darshini commentary on chapter 76, completed in the assembly of devotees, which brings happiness to the heart of devotees. So end of this chapter. This is amazing. One chapter in one class. This has never happened. Anyway, there was not much in it, hardly any commentary. These chapters which have description of battle, they are like that. There is nothing much to say. Okay, if there is any question.
Babaji, that interaction between Daruka's son and Krishna, not Krishna's son, Pradyumna, what teaching should we take from this dialogue?
What teaching? That you have to do your duty.
So, means what the charioteer?
Charioteer has to protect the driver, and driver has to look after the welfare of the charioteer. If he falls unconscious, he has to take him away. Even if he gets chastised later on, no problem. That is more important to protect him than to think, oh, he is going to get angry at me. It will be foolish of him to keep him there and let him be. Of course, he cannot be killed, but in general, that's what he did is right. Sandeep.
Babaji, so many lessons about Shuddh Prem and ultimate Ma. After that, Dwarka Leela, like a lot of Kshatriya, Veer, thus fighting, etc. is there. So, like, what teaching, primary teaching here as a sadhaka, what do we take these teachings?
What teaching? It is describing how people who are demoniac, how they act. It's describing the mentality. How Salva's Ahankara is acting. See, they have to understand. And this type of mentalities are not only in them, they are also inside us. This is what I said, that human beings waste so much time just taking revenge from others. This is what he is doing. You are only seeing the fighting, but what is the reason for that? You have to see that. I spoke that in the very beginning. So you see this among the devotees also. I said between sampradayas, right? How can Krishna be Swam Bhagavan, Narayana is Swam Bhagavan, and saying no. So this arguing, counter-arguing, just the ahankara. Trying to find fault. So this is also a type of battle. Releasing astras, logical astras, logistics. See the logic stick. Bhushan.
Babaji, I have a question on dharma. So in this particular case, there is also, correct me if I'm wrong, there is a rule, for example, if one is on the verge of death, and to preserve one's life, one can do anything. For example, a Brahmin may accept water from a Chandala if he is on the verge of death, and that will not be considered to be a dharma. So life, with dharma, artha, kama, moksha depends on life. If there is no life, none of this exists. But at the same time, we find that for Kshatriya dharma, somehow it's glorious to die. I wonder why that is the case. Because if they live, they can fight another enemy. Why would death be somehow be glorious? One would go to heaven if one for a Kshatriya. Would life be more important than dying?
Yeah, but life for what? Why life is more important? So that you can perform your duty. Not that you run away from your duty and just protect your life.
No, for instance, for example, if there is also, for example, this idea that one can pursue spirituality and so on, right? So if that is the case, a person who is a Kshatriya may instead of dying on the battlefield, may kind of stay older and then go to Vanaprastha and like the Pandavas did, right? They eventually went to the forest and so on.
Yeah, but then they are not kings anymore. They gave up their duty as a king. They took,
I see, okay.
They took to Vanaprastha. Installed Parikshit on the throne. And they said, okay, our job is done. So your duty changes according to your ashram. The same dharma which you have as a brahmachari is not same when you have grahastha. So dharma is not that it is always same. It is changes also according to varna ashrama. So the dharma for same person can change and changes the ashram. Okay.